welcome next team. Team 30 from金陵High School. The project name is A Project of Homelessness, helping in Newcastle. Please welcome Team 30.
Oh, my dear judges and friends, good morning.
Morning.
My name is Sophia. I'm Sandy.
My name is Nina.
Sorry for the previous team. We got another one.
Hello, my dear judges. Today we are going to show you the results of our research. Our topic is a project of homelessness helping in Newcastle. Why did we choose this topic? The main reason is that one of our team members shared with us her experience of seeing homeless people in the UK. And we often see related reports in the news. So we decided to explore and conduct about this issue to see if we could find a feasible solution. There are 5 reasons. The first is economic difficulties, family issues, mental health and addiction problems, gaps in policies and immigration, and the impact of COVID-19 pandemic. The first factor is economic difficulties. Housing prices in the UK are constantly rising, while wages grow slowly, making it hard for people to afford the rent, buy the house, or pay the mortgage. Additionally, due to the economic recession in recent years, many people have lost their jobs, which leads to a decrease in family income. As a result, they could no longer afford the rent, not to mention the mortgage. This further intensifies homelessness. The second is family issues, such as domestic violence, abuse, or broken marriages, which can add to a number of homelessness. The third is mental health and addiction problems. Untreated mental health issues may cause people unable to live or work normally. The fourth is gaps in policies and immigration. Due to the increase in refugees from war-torn areas, some refugees in the UK are unable to access public resources, especially housing benefits, which adds to a number of homelessness. The last factor, the impact of COVID-19 pandemic. Increased unemployment and economic pressures, causing more people to become homeless. Among these 5 factors, economic issues cause the highest percentage of homelessness. Next, let's talk about the UK government's policies. There are 3 main laws aimed at addressing the problem of homelessness. The first is Housing Act, 1977. This was the first law addressing homelessness, which states that the local government have the responsibility to provide shelter for specific groups. The groups benefited from this act are pregnant women, families with children, vulnerable adults, and those made homeless by disasters. The main content about this law is to provide temporary accommodation and long-term housing support. A special point about this law is that if the local government determines that the applicant has deliberately chosen to become homeless, they may refuse to offer the assistance.
The second is the Homelessness Act 2002, which requires local government to develop strategy to prevent homelessness. The Act also expands the definition of homelessness to include people facing eviction or unsafe living conditions. In addition to the groups of people mentioned above, now people who will lose their homes within the next 28 days, and the law focuses on providing long-term housing. The third law is the Homelessness Reduction Reduction Act 2017, which requires local government to provide early intervention to help people at risk of homelessness. A key point is that all legal residents in the UK can ask for this help, regardless of whether they are in priority groups or not. Additionally, the government must help those who have already lost their homes find a place to live within 56 days. The priority groups for help include pregnant women, families with children, vulnerable adults, made homelessness by disasters, and those who will lose their homes within 56 days. Next, we will talk about housing price in Newcastle. The monthly rent for most places is £2,000 to £2,500. The cheapest at £425 per month for a place that can accommodate 3 people. According to the minimum wage, the latest update in 2025 is as follows. For age 23 and over is £11 per hour. For age 21 to 22 is £10.18 per hour. For age 18 to 20 is £7.49 per hour. For age 16 to 17 is £5.28 per hour. According to our investigation, the average unemployment times in the UK is 2 to 6 months, with no upper limit and a minimum being 1 day. Factors that can affect this include industry difference. Some fields like technology and healthcare have higher demand and thus shorter unemployment periods, while more competitive industries like arts and media may have longer unemployment times. The state of economy also plays a role. Unemployment generally increases during recession and decreases during economic growth. Lastly, employment support services such as job training or career services can reduce unemployment duration.
Next, we're going to introduce our project. We'll be divided into 2 parts, housing support and employment counseling. First, if we use the minimum rent in Newcastle as a reference, we can use £425 per month to accommodate a house that can accommodate 3 people. And the utility costs are around £17 per month, with £20 for water and £50 for electricity. And considering the average unemployment period, 2 to 6 months in Newcastle, each homeless people will receive 2 months of housing support and will reassess their situation every 2 months to see if they can still receive our support. And our evaluation standards are as follows. First, their age must be between 22 to 35 years old. At this age range is the most likely to find a work and has the required energy. Second, they must have no criminal record, such as gambling or drug use. And the third one is they must not receive any support from other organizations. And will provide training in fields that require fewer technical skills and have a higher number of vacancies, such as agriculture and gardening, food service industry, and cleaning and maintenance. We would also like to cooperate with Durham University and local charities. And we will invite the students to join our program, and we hope they can gain leadership experience while helping the homelessness. And also, we will provide 3 to 6 months of employment support after our employment counseling. And now, let's talk about our evaluation of program effectiveness. There are 2 success rates. The first one is at least 50% of them should find stable jobs within 2 months. And the second one is at least 80% of them should be satisfied with our program. And if both of these targets are met, our program will be considered a success. Looking forward, if our programs are successful, we can expand the target age range to 20 to 40 years old. And we can also cooperate with local governments and businesses to secure more benefits for our homeless. And And now let's talk about our budget plan. We will use £235,000 into the housing support, and the remaining £15,000 will be used for unexpected expenses. And with the minimum rent in Newcastle and utility cost, £500 can help 3 people live for 1 month. And later, we'll rent 120 houses to those who gain the ability to pay for the rent and set the rent at £200 per month. And the remaining 110 houses will continue to support the new homeless. And any extra funds will be used for housing repairs, equipment replacement, and medical expenses for the homeless. And now, please look at the paper that we just gave you. The first page, we write some information about our project that we want to tell our homelessness. And the second page is the form that if they want to ask for our support, they have to fill this form. Here are some important things I want to tell you. The first one is criminal record. We want to know if they have any criminal record, just that we just said. And if they say they don't have any criminal record, we will ask for the certificate good conduct. We also want to know their employment status, so that we can know how we can help him. If they are already employment, then they might just want some place to live. And also want to know how many children do they have. If they don't have any children, they can just check the no blank. But if they have any underage children, we would like to know how many he have and how many and what is their age. And if he or she have the children as already adult, we will ask them to write down how many and their salary. And if their salary is enough to cover themselves and their family, and they still have extra, we'll ask them to pay a little bit rent. And the most important thing is here, the type of subsidy request. If they just want some place to live, they can just check the housing support blank. But if they want us to help them find a job, they can choose the employment counseling blank. But if they want both, the place to live and the job counseling, they can just check the both blank. So these are all we want to share with you today. Thanks for listening.
Any questions from our judges?
Sorry,
Yes.
I need your microphones.
There's one up there.
Okay, thank you very much for your presentation. And I would like just to know the statistic you provided on the PowerPoint. May I know what kind of information are you, which information did you find from the resources?
We use Google and software to find our resource. And some is from like England government website.
So then I would suggest you can put some resources on your PowerPoint to indicate the statistics.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Other questions?
Hi. Great presentation. I'm just wondering, how do you come up with the 5 reasons? Where do you get those information from? The 5 reasons that you determined those are the most important reasons for homelessness.
We have been seeing a website that writes those, and I think it's from an organization that is helping the homeless, so we use that cities.
Right. Okay. And how do you think, because it is a very big project, and homelessness problem in the UK, it is, especially recently, it is quite a problem. But how do you select? Because you say, like, on the points that if they are aged between 22 and 35 and no criminal records, but that would be like a lot of people. Do you have any other criteria? What do you think? What kind of criteria are you going to input? Like, if there are more people want to have your assistance.
If they already have any working experience, I think we will support them first. Because if they find a job, and I think they can help us back. So it is a nice cycle things.
Thank you so much. I really think you guys have found a very important issue. And that's kind of what I notice. You know, she says it's a problem, we see it, right? And we all kind of agree. But when you introduce it, you say, you know, my friend went to the UK, saw homeless people, and it's a problem. But I mean, what's the proof? What, I mean, do we have numbers on this? Do we know how many homeless? Do we know, I mean, I think, do we have any more information on who these people are?
You mean homeless or are
Homeless, yes, yeah, the people that are the focus of your study. I mean, do we know how many? You know what? I mean, because I see something like 100 housing units. You know, how do we arrive at that number? Is it enough? Is, I mean,
too much?
is it too much?
No,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
is it too much or too less?
But that's the question. Yeah, I mean, how do we pick that number? And, I mean, because how many homeless are there in London, or do we have any of this information?
I'm sorry, no.
No. Okay. No, again, that's. I mean, it makes better research, right? So we have something to find.
Thank you.
One other thing is we mentioned some laws previously, right? Some previous laws that have come about that are supposed to deal with this issue. Why didn't those work? Why do we still have this problem?
Because those laws they say that if they receive the support, if they receive the help, they cannot like smoking or drug use or just drinking. So I think a lot of homelessness just don't want to don't smoke or don't drink. So they just decided about just continue being homeless. But in our support, we will not say they cannot smoke because I think smoking is they can decide it by themselves because it's already adult and they have the rights to choose their life. And we want in our program we want to provide this the place to live and employment counseling.
Okay, so previous laws were too strict.
Yes.
Okay, very good. Okay. And then one more thing, last one. All right, and then I'll let anybody else ask questions. We talked about the minimum wage, right? Minimum wage, and maybe if we increase it, this will make things better. Do I understand that correctly? Or the minimum wage, so that was one of the graphs you showed, is like salary. Yes. So again, minimum wage, if it's too low, right, and we raise it, again, do we have proof that this helps?
No, we will not. We will not. Because the salary is already like that, because the law has said it has to be listed. But can you say the question?
Sure. Yeah, so again, we talked about minimum wage,
Yes.
right, and you raised that an issue. I don't think you didn't say anything about changing it.
Yes.
But I'm just curious, again, do we have research about, why the minimum wage is what it is, or, why does it not work if we raise it? Do we have any of that information, or not really?
We find that on the website, but we cannot remember which website they sent.
That's okay, I was just curious, just a question. All right, thank you so much. Again, some really good information here. Thank you so much.
That was great that you guys used up all $250,000. That's good. I like it. So I have several questions. So the first one, you mentioned that you can only provide funds to people without any criminal records, right? Is there another proposal for the people with minor criminal records?
If the criminal record is if the things that do is not too over, if it just like stolen some things and it's very little things, and I think we can discuss that whether we have to support them or not.
Okay, great. And then another thing that I saw is that you guys have all the amount of houses to provide, but who oversees those? Who are the property managers? So basically, who oversees those properties? Because those amounts weren't included, right? Have you guys thought about that? Or would that be the government's job?
Yes, I think we can cooperate with them and ask for their help.